This is Schnebs here. What's up? We are reporting today from Walla Walla, Washington. Bringing you 3 points today. First point, getting right off the bat for the people that just want to hear the review and see the rating on Copenhagen Long Cut. That's today's video's review. Copenhagen Long Cut. That's my first point, so we get right to it. So the people that don't want to watch the rest of the video can just go on doing their thing and not really educating their minds, but whatever. I respect that. I was one of those people just looking for reviews of dips, so I'm giving it to you to your classic Copenhagen Long Cut. That is the first point. Second point is the prices, which goes along with kind of the review, I guess. But the prices are here in Washington State and Oregon. So can't really relate to your area if you're not from Washington or Walla Walla. If you are from Washington or Oregon, it can help you out. Well, I wouldn't say really help you out, kind of piss you off a little bit, but really it'll only help out Washington and Oregon residents. My third point today is the government and its taxes on tobacco, including cigarettes, dip, and swishers, everything. So, let's get to the point. We'll do the review on Copenhagen Long Cut. Copenhagen Long Cut, the classic in my opinion. Everyone has dipped it at least once in their dipping career. If you're new to it, I suggest starting off with this stuff because it'll open up your mind to the world. If you don't like the flavor of it, which I will try to explain later in the video, it's a great starting base to figure out what flavor you will like. So, let's take a dip of it. Big dip here. And do another pinch. For most of you, that might have been a wimpy dip, but I've been dipping quite a bit today, so I don't really want to wear out my gums too much. So, right off the bat, what I noticed about this is my go-to dip, by the way. I've been dipping for coming up on 2 years now. Not a lot of experience to the veteran dippers. Again, there's Outlaw Dipper, my idol. This is what made me want to do dip reviews. Great guy. Subscribe to him. He is Outlaw Dipper on YouTube. He changed a little bit. He's doing more so on his Live to Thrill channel on YouTube, so I would subscribe to that. It also has dip reviews on that channel. So, anyway, right off the bat, very fine, not as fine as snuff per se. Snuff is like a wet powder. This is a little bit longer cut, but compared to, say, Copenhagen Long Cut Wintergreen, also says Long Cut on it. Long Cut right there. Both say Long Cut. However, the Wintergreen is a longer cut. You can take one pinch with 2 fingers and get about a quarter of the can, whereas Copenhagen Long Cut, this one, you will not get as much. You will only get a little tiny pinch with 2 fingers because it is a much finer cut. It has the tendency to fall apart in your fingers. I find that a little bit of a con because I'm always spilling it on my shirt. I'll be, driving my car and, trying to hold the wheel and taking a pinch and it'll fall all over my shirt. That's the only con to it, in my opinion, for it being a finer cut than normal long cut per se. Just when I'm driving and getting it spilt over. Pros to it, its flavor. A very unique flavor. I can't really explain it. It's nothing like a flavor of, wintergreen or skull citrus, that kind of stuff, per se. It is more of a natural, original flavor that Copenhagen came out with it 1969, so the flavor's been in this circ for quite a long time, so obviously people like it. If you tried Copenhagen stuff, it's about the same. For me though, the snuff is a little less flavor to it, probably because the grains are so small that it just falls apart in my mouth all the time. But the flavor is what gets it. That's why it is a classic. 1969 is when they came out with it, and it is still in production today, meaning it's been a good run for Copenhagen Long Cut. Another of its pros, it is a classic. Everyone will dip it at one point. If you are a dipper or want to be a dipper, Copenhagen Long Cut, you will have at least once, whether you like it or not. You will at least have it one time. A lot of my friends don't like it just because of the fine cut, and the flavor isn't that of, wintergreen or mint per se, so they don't like the flavor it has so much because it doesn't remind them of anything. I find that a pro. I love the flavor, everything about it. One of its cons, though, is here in Washington, I don't know about other states, but it is the most expensive can dip out there. Redman is more expensive, but it also comes in a bag, which gives you more dip per se than the actual can. But most expensive dip here in Washington state that comes in a can. And I've explored a lot. I have tried different places to buy chew, and even at my cheapest place, which sells it for $6.85 a can, all the other dips out there are less expensive. Still less expensive than most cigarettes. Some cigarettes that are cheap brands are less expensive, but those are the kind of brand of cigarettes that are very cheap. I don't really know much about cigarettes, but I know there are some cases where cigarettes are less expensive than Copenhagen Long Cut. Which brings me to my final conclusion that Copenhagen Long Cut, 8 out of 10 stars. Classic, gotta dip it once kind of thing. Excellent. We'll get to Husky Natural Long Cut in the next video for my review, just because it replicates so close to Copenhagen Long Cut. And it's less expensive. That's why I want to do a review of it. Another con to it is, if you're like me and you put a dip in and you suck on it real hard, as dirty as that sounds, the flavor loses in about 45 minutes. If you're just one of those people that sticks it in there, doesn't suck on it at all, it lasts up to about an hour and a half, 2 hours. But for me, after about 45 minutes, it's just kind of like having something in there with no flavor. You either got to take another little pinch, but that only lasts about 20 minutes for me. So that is a con, but again, 8 out of 10 stars. So that is my dip review of Copenhagen Long Cut, the classic. Dip it every day. On to point number 2. So those of you that were just looking for the review, you can X out of this video now. If you want to keep watching, that's perfectly fine with me. But point number 2, here in Washington State, the average cost for Copenhagen Long Cut is $7.44 a can. That is the average cost. I have found it, and the cheapest I have found it in Washington State is $6.85. If you have found it cheaper in any other place of Washington, if you're a Washington resident that dips, please leave a comment below saying what the price of it is. I want to see what the range of the costs are here. I know in Walla Walla, $6.85 is the cheapest I can find it. Ellensburg, cheapest I can find it, $6.95. But again, that $6.95 in Ellensburg, that's the only cheapest place in Ellensburg that I can find it. Other than that, the cheapest I can find it is that $7.44 average at 7-Eleven or, Texaco kind of thing. So again, the prices, that's something I want to talk about. Living down here in Walla Walla, I'm 10 miles from Oregon. So sometimes I go down there to buy a can if I'm low on money or something. Well, I have found out that the cost there without the sales tax is only $6.20, so 60-cent difference, no, 65-cent difference. So you aren't saving a whole lot. I know in other states they're quite cheap. Montana, I go there every year, and it's about, last time I was there, it was about $5.50 a can. Still fairly expensive, but a lot cheaper than here. So that's something I want to talk about, and it kind of leads into point number 3 about the government doing its job or lack thereof. where are all the taxes from the tobacco coming from? I know down here in Walla Walla there are a lot of smokers out there, which leads me to a side note. If you want to check out the cons of smoking against smokeless tobacco, and smokeless tobacco, I'm talking dip, check out Mud Jug 1's How Smokeless Tobacco Can Save Your Life. I'll try to put a link up, not sure if I can do it, but if you go to YouTube, type in How Smokeless Tobacco Can Save Your Life, should pop right up there. So anyway, where are all those taxes going to? I know a lot of people smoke. Not sure how many dippers are out there. I haven't run into many here in Washington. We're kind of a more liberal state, which tends to frown upon the hick habit of dipping. They're more smokers over here. But nevertheless, it's still tobacco, and there's still a tax on it. So I'm wondering, where are those taxes going to? If you're a government official, leave a comment below of telling me what you're doing with those taxes, because honestly, I have no idea. Is it to road construction kind of thing? I'm not sure. I don't want any smart asses, calling me a dumbass, because I don't really delve into the taxes of the state. Don't really want to. It's pages and pages of stuff. Don't want to look it all up. Which probably I should if I'm concerned about it and talking about it. But with the tobacco tax, I know there is quite a bit on it. So anyway, what are they doing with it? I don't know. If you're as concerned about it as me, I've written my senator and governor of Washington asking if the tobacco tax is so high to please send what they are using those taxes for. But anywho, I digress because I can't really talk about it too much, kind of thing. So anyway, to end the video, I'm going to review everything. So point number 1, the review. Copenhagen Long Cut, 8 out of 10 stars. Classic, dip it. If you're a first-time dipper, start with it in my opinion, unless you're looking for a different kind of flavor like wintergreen or mint. Won't suggest anything quite yet, so I can force you to watch my other videos and reviews. So kind of fishing you in on that one. But anyway, Copenhagen Long Cut, 8 out of 10 stars. Number 2, Washington, Oregon prices, way too high in my opinion. I know I scrounge for money all the time just to buy a can because it is really expensive over here. I'm hoping that they lower the prices, but God knows they won't because it's already that high and they're already getting X amount of taxes from it. So anywho, that's the update for prices in here in Washington and Oregon. Leading to the third thing, which kind of ties into the prices. Please, government, do some with the tobacco taxes that actually are worth the money that it's creating. Build more roads kind of thing, something like that. But anyway, thank you for watching the video. Check out my other reviews once they come out. Not sure when I'll try to do the next one. Hopefully here soon. But anyway, thank you for watching. This is Schnebs reporting from Walla Walla, Washington.